threatens some will get out of the way.
I would evacuate. Just make sure the house is secure.
But many will ride it out, like Dave Scanlon of Fort Myers.
I plan to stay. For the most part, I haven't had any problems with it. Just a little rain, a mile an hour.
When a hurricane knocks power out, people like Dave will be looking for gas stations and grocery stores still in business. More than 100 stores like Publix, Sweet Bay, Walmart, and Home Depot have generators on site so people can get what they need.
I think that's fabulous that they have that to help out in the community.
But according to the state, only about 30 gas stations in Southwest Florida have generators on site. The only requirement we found is companies that own 10 or more gas stations within a county have to be able to get a generator into that county within 24 hours of a storm's hit. I talked with several gas stations that have generators on site, and they say even though it's not required by Florida law, it's good for business.
It's a huge asset to have because, as you know, after a hurricane like Charlie, when it came through, there's very few places that are going to have power.
Quick Fuel in Fort Myers has had a generator on site for 2 years.
We got the generator purely because we're the sole provider of fuel for Florida Power and Light. And of course, you know, after a hurricane, they're the ones that need the fuel immediately.
Florida law also requires certain gas stations to have transfer switches, especially those off the interstate and on or near evacuation routes. A transfer switch allows a station to bring in a generator if necessary.
They would disconnect that from the power.
Inspector Mickey Little's job is to make sure gas stations have the transfer switches, including the pick and run at Daniels and Treeline.
It's very important because if we had a national emergency and we had to have work crews come into this area, they would have to have some place to get fuel to keep working. And without fuel, they couldn't work.
Little says all gas stations that should have transfer switches in Southwest Florida do.
Unless it's a brand new station, they all have it that are required.
Chances are gas stations close to the interstate or on evacuation routes are more likely to have power after a hurricane. But emergency management cautions that doesn't mean they'll be open for business.
The idea that they're going to keep the lights on and running all the time through the storm is probably a misconception.
Even if a gas station or grocery store has a transfer switch or a generator on site, roads may not be open to get the goods where they need to be.
The main thing that people need to be concerned about is preparation. They don't want to rely on making sure the gas station is open today or tonight. They want to stay prepared.
And that means shopping for water, batteries, and non-perishables before a storm hits and filling up your gas tank well in advance.
Keep your gas tank full, close to full on a regular basis. Make sure that you can evacuate if you need to.
Because when a hurricane hits, preparation is key. Kara Kenny, NBC2.